This conference will now be recorded.
All righty, calling the organizational meeting to order. Okay, we at 6:07 p.m. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All righty, Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okey doke. So I'm going to go through, unless everybody wants to take turns, I think I'm just going to read the org one straight up so that we can move through it. Do I have to so move it every time I do one? I do, right?
When you say one, what do you mean, 1 through 11?
Like a motion.
The resolution, but not the motions. I do it at the end, right?
1 second. Well, we have all of these as motions, so you should probably do it individually.
Oh, stop it.
But you could, what you could do is to,
All right, we could do it all together. It's fine.
yeah, you could just make a motion to approve.
No, 10, 11, and 14, it's fine. We'll do it all. That's okay. Resolution approving appointment of officers and officials. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution authorizing officers and employees of the village to attend conferences and seminars. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution to appoint all board members and chairs. So moved.
Second.
Where am I? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Resolution designating official banks. Why am I reading this though? Isn't this just a schedule? Yeah. Okay.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
As I'm writing
Scratch that.
papers,
All right.
saying, "My God."
Motion to accept the agenda as printed. Now I say so moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor to appoint Jeremy Flynn as deputy mayor for a term of 1 year. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor to appoint Jessica Batani as clerk for a term of 1 year. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor to appoint Joseph W. Prokop, PLLC, as village attorney for a term of 1 year. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor to appoint Judy Wallace as village treasurer for a term of 1 year. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion that the mayor, treasurer, and deputy mayor are authorized to sign checks for the village. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, you have to read this one because I have to recuse myself.
Mayor to appoint, motion for mayor to appoint Michael Chiaffi as village building inspector for a term of 1 year. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Mayor to appoint Rich Parrish as village environmental engineer for a term of 1 year. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to appoint Edward Schmidt as village historian for a term of 1 year. So moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion to appoint
Aye.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to appoint the following for a term of 1 year. Village Records Access Officer, Jessica Batani. Record Access Appeals Officer, Joseph W. Prokop, Esquire. Acting Justice, Robert Connolly. Continuity Program Manager, Jessica Batani. Village Manager, Jessica Batani. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to appoint the following commissioners for a term of 1 year. Walnut Beach, Eddie Schmidt. Public Works,
Public Works, Michael Chiaffi.
Van Brunt Manor Beach, Joseph Caggiano. Flag Protocols and Maintenance, Gary Garifano. Trustees Park, Bonnie Sauer. California and Mayor's Park, Al Yesler. Communications, D. Parrish. 25A Corridor, Jessica Byrne. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to authorize officers and employees to attend conferences and seminars after prior approval and in accordance with the regulations of New York State Comptroller's Office. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reappoint John Lane as the village liaison and harbor management meetings for a term of 1 year. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reappoint the following for the village to reappoint and appoint the following for the Village of Poquod Zoning Board of Appeals with indicated terms. James Radigan, Chair, expires 2029. chaired for a term of 1 year only. Jacqueline Taylor expires 2027. Lee Thompson expires 2030. Janet Basile expires 2031. Eric Bosch expires 2032. Karen Athanasides expires 2026. Patty Whitmarsh expires 2028. Gary Garofano, alternate, expires 2025. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reappoint the following to the Village of Poquat Planning Board. Christopher Schleider, Chair, expires 2030, Chair for the term of 1 year. Robert Cronin, expires 2027. Dean Rosenzweig, expires 2032. Lee Thompson, expires 2026. Jeff Coppelson, expires 2028. Jessica Wareth, expires 2029. David Savage, expires 2031. Kendall Parrish, alternate, expires 2025. So moved. All in
One second,
favor?
sorry. 2026 for our alternates.
Ah. 20, Kendall
26.
Parrish, alternate, expires 2026. And so does Gary on the previous one. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to name the official depositories for the Village of Poquat as follows. Dime Bank. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to designate the following as the official radio station for the Village of Poquat, WALK 97.5. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to designate the following official newspaper for legal notices. Village Times Herald, Newsday when necessary. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to reimburse the mileage expense based on the current IRS rate, presently at 70 cents per mile, as reimbursement to officers and employees of the village who use their personal automobiles while performing their official duties on behalf of the Village of Poquat. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to ratify and continue adherence to the following policies. Village of Poquat Emergency Preparedness Plan. Village of Poquat Continuity of Operations Plan. Village of Poquat Code of Ethics. Village of Poquat Rules and Procedures Policy. Village of Poquat Sexual Harassment Policy. Village of Poquat Travel Policy. Village of Poquat Violence in the Workplace Policy. Village of Poquat Code Enforcement Employment and Pay Policy. Village of Poquat Firearm Use of Force Training Policy. Village of Poquat Firearm Possession Policy. Village of Poquat Use of Force Policy. Village of Poquat Electronic Equipment Use and Disposal Policy. Village of Poquat Information Technology Policy. Village of Poquat Website Policy. Village of Poquat Village Hall Use Policy. Village of Poquat Village Keys Policy. Village of Poquat Pay Policy. Village of Poquat Freedom of Information Law FOIL Request Policy. Village of Poquat Records Access Procedure Policy. Village of Poquat Petty Cash Policy. Village of Poquat Bill Approval Policy. Village of Poquat Fund Balance Policy. Village of Poquat Credit Card Policy. Village of Poquat Fixed Asset Policy and Procedures. Village of Poquat Investment Policy. Village of Poquat Fund and Appropriation Transfer Policy. Village of Poquat Procurement Policy. Village of Poquat Funding Community Events Policy. Village of Poquat Construction Oversight Program. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just a sidebar. Thank you to everybody on the board because this has been a collective effort of years to get these policies all up and current, and we've got 3 more to go, and we are completely up to date. So yay to us. Motion to ratify the continued adherence to any all village policies is adopted. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt Robert's Rules of Order and any all pertinent rules as adopted by the Village of Poquat Board of Trustees as the official rules and procedures for Village Board of Trustees meetings. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to continue the established procedures for the setting and notification of special meetings of the Village of Poquat Board of Trustees to a 72-hour notification requirement, except in the event of a matter of public safety, emergency, than is required by law. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to waive the requirement of posting and undertaking by mayor or trustees. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to schedule the Village of Pope Park trustees meetings as follows to be held at Village Hall. Second Thursday of every month unless noticed otherwise. Work session 6 p.m. Regular session at completion of work session. August 14th, September 11th, October 9th, November 13th, December 11th, January 15th, February 12th, March 12th, April 9th, May 14th, June 11th.
Can I ask you how you ended up with January 15th? Isn't that the third Thursday?
I think I bumped it because of the holiday. I pushed it back. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter to me. It just says that it's the second Thursday meeting.
Well,
Whatever you want. I just want to.
Yeah,
Unless
first-
otherwise
January
noticed.
1st is Thursday. It's January 1st, and then next week is the 8th, and then.
yeah, I kind of did it in accordance
Okay.
to New Year's. Is everybody okay with that? Okay, so that's as noticed otherwise.
That falls under.
That falls under as noticed otherwise, unless noticed otherwise. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to schedule the organizational meeting for 2026 to be held at Village Hall on July 6, 2026. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to require annual year-end reports on January 15th from Planning Board and Zoning Board of Appeals. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to require biannual reports on August 15th and February 1st, August 15th, 2025 and February 1st, 2026 from village commissioners of the following locations: California Beach, Walnut Beach, Van Brunt Manor Beach, Trustees Park, 25A corridor. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to renew Keyspan bond account for a term of 1 year. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adopt all the organizational resolutions above. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So we really could have just gotten to the end one, right?
Yes. Normally it's.
You stinker.
I try to
You have to adjourn it.
Okay, motion to adjourn the annual organizational meeting at 6:20. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
All right,
All right.
one meeting down.
You were on a roll. I didn't want
You didn't want,
to get in the way.
all right. Motion to begin the work session. What's that?
I have to get my report.
No, we're not doing the reports. I took them off. We're gonna defer them to
That's even
August.
better, because then I can have the annual.
Yeah,
Because then I'll have the
that's
whole-
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a kind of a short amount between the meetings, so. Okay, motion to calling the meeting calling the work session to order at 6:21 PM. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, first item on the agenda, the Justice Court debt and overage. I sent this around, but I'm gonna read it into the minutes because we need this to be clear for our audit going forward. So, the Justice Court debt, outstanding debt, uncollected income, $1,128. Petty cash, $150. Total Justice Court debt, $1,278. In 2018, concerns regarding the possible misappropriation of Justice Court's funds were raised with Justice Edelson by then Mayor D. Parrish prior to the annual Justice Court audit. The matter was subsequently referred to Suffolk County Court Administration. The discrepancy was formally documented in the 2019 Justice Court audit conducted by Cullen and Danowski. Despite the findings, the Justice Court did not recover the missing funds or resolve this matter with the village, and the debt remains on the village's records to this day. In January 2024, the village's new auditor, R.S. Abram, advised that the outstanding debt continues to negatively affect the village's audit reports submitted to New York State. Mayor Tina Chiaffi presented the issue to Justice Edelson and requested reconciliation of all outstanding discrepancies. In July 2024, after no corrective action was taken by the court, the matter was brought before the Board of Trustees. Considering the age of the debt, the board agreed to a proposed settlement of $500, contingent upon a written request from the Justice Court to determine the remaining $778 as an uncollectible loss. The proposal was submitted to Justice Edelson in August of 2024. No action was taken by the justice. Subsequently, Mayor Chiaffi referred the matter to Suffolk County Court Administration, which advised that the village's only remaining option would be to file a formal complaint. After deliberation, the Board of Trustees voted against taking such action and resolved to write off the debt as uncollectible in the upcoming reconciliation and to notify the auditor accordingly. The board will issue a formal letter to Justice Edelson requesting he submit a report outlining the corrective protocols now in place to prevent similar discrepancies in the future. Unexpended grant funds. Balance $551.45. $551.45 in unexpected grant funds was identified by the auditor R.S. Abrams and reported to Mayor Chiaffi, who in turn brought this to the attention of Justice Edelson in January of 2024. A request was made for reconciliation of all discrepancies. As of this writing, no reconciliation has been performed by the Justice Court. These unexpended funds continue to affect the village's audit reports to New York State, as the retention of unspent grant money is generally prohibited by most state agencies and federal funding. The Board of Trustees will issue a formal letter to Justice Edelson requesting that this matter be fully resolved by September 15th, 2025. So that takes care of those debts. I will advise once I will circulate the letters for everyone to see before we send it over to Justice Court, and hopefully they'll take care of the remaining issues so we can be clear for our next audit. Okay, special event for a minute. Frank's here. So we have, I think, I mean, I don't know if everybody had time to look at the permit, look it over as it stands now. We are still having issues where people are requesting special events in the name of their companies without proper insurance. So I think it would be best for us to hear some ideas from Joe and Frank as far as what you guys think we should be doing with this before we come up with a revised version. So are there any thoughts as far as how it works in other villages or what might work best for Poquat with people having events? The concern is, just to reiterate, the concern is we are taking up beaches, parks, we have parking concerns, residents not being able to use areas because they're being rented out by residents using it for corporate uses. And the parking issues that it causes are significant, and it's a lot of paperwork for the village. I personally think it's great that people get to use the parks, but I don't know if the amount of money that we're charging covers the expenses that we incur between administrative, public safety, and the parking is always kind of an issue. So does anybody have any thoughts? You can't talk, Gary. You can have thoughts later.
Write them down.
You write them down, write your thoughts, and then you can have a million thoughts. Frank, do you have thoughts?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought Joe was going to go first.
I don't care who goes first.
So, there's so many issues that we do have. One of the biggest issues that we have is, of course, the traffic and the park. Being a small village, even our parks being as small as they are, we're really not equipped to have large scale events. It's not within our footprint to have these things. We have sometimes weddings that, can have 100 people, and, you're looking at 50 cars, 60 cars. We just don't have that space. We tried at some of the events, parking cars, along Chestnut. The problem is, if there's a fire or other emergency fire trucks can come down Washington, they're gonna try to make that turn on Chestnut, and it's not gonna happen. They're not gonna make that turn with a truck. So parking is our major issue, and I think that we've already developed a sheet with parking on it, where we could probably fit 20 or 25 cars for an event. I think more than that, we're probably stretching it. On top of the fact that every time you do have an event there, you are taking away the park for being used by other residents, and some of the parking. So that's one of the reasons, one of the issues that we have. The number of people is certainly, again, a concern, because again, the more people, the more space that's being taken away from the residents. The vendors are, I think, a concern. We should be knowing what vendors exactly, and the insurance for those vendors, health, the county health certificates for them. If it's, these vendors may be coming down with staff, if they have waitress or waiter staff, and they're gonna come down with cars, we should be knowing about that, so we know if we can fit that in as well. Where they're gonna put the vendor, so all those things need to be concerned. On top of that, if they're going to have a tent, I think we should be looking at that as well. In the past, there were issues where they would put the spikes into tents and they would damage the sprinkler line. So that's something that we probably want to look at. It might be the building inspector to kind of look and see where those are. If they're enclosed tents, that might, a completely enclosed tent, that would be something that might fall under the state fire codes, some fire extinguishers and so forth. So there's a large number of things that we should be looking at. As far as businesses are concerned, I don't know, that's something that you have to make a decision as a board. If that's something you're having people having business events. So yeah, it's taking away the park from other residents or something that's not family function. That's something that you might want to look at.
Okay. Joe, you got anything?
Yes. So what,
Oh,
what
did
I
you
s-
finish? Sorry, I cut you right off. Okay.
So when I go through what I consider are the minimum recommendations, is this gonna be, of significance? I mean, is this gonna be transferred into a policy, or?
Yeah, I think,
Because we went through this, didn't we go through this like last month or the month before?
well, we started talking about we kind of started batting around the problems, but now I think and we decided a month or two ago that we weren't going to really address it in this season because we were too far into it. But my hope is that we can really revisit this and have a more comprehensive policy that addresses everything that Frank said and anything that you have and anything that the trustees have for next summer season. There are more and more events. There's
How many
more
events
events.
were there? Do you know that? How many events?
Um,
There's like 20, 24, 23, 25, like, with that number?
Right now, I think we have 4 for July and early August. I believe. I don't know offhand the total number.
I mean, I feel like there's been more events happening than there used to be in the past that I see out my window at California.
I feel like this year there wasn't anything.
I think there
It's
was
just
more,
spring
there,
in the
more
couple.
than this year, and more larger size parties.
Yeah,
You know,
I
where
think
a lot
the
of times it would be
size
10,
increased a
15
bit,
people, now it's like,
makes it more
you know,
noticeable
40,
for the large
50.
ones.
We got a request for, what was the request that we got? We got a request for how many cars?
it was originally over 50.
Yeah, so we're getting requests, and maybe that's part of it too. Like Jess said, we used to get requests for smaller amounts of cars. Now we're getting people saying we're gonna have 50 cars. Where are we putting the 50 cars? And is 50 cars is a huge burden as opposed to 20 cars, you know?
Well, I think at some point the cars, people have to get down parking. But they have to get a parking attendant for 50 cars. Even if you put them at Walnut Beach and some kids running back and forth. Like, I think if the parking is a problem, that's a discussion, is up to a certain amount of cars, oh, fine, and then after this amount of cars, you need a parking attendant, after this amount of cars, you need two cars. Like, I think,
And where they
and then
put,
maybe we cut it off at a certain amount of people. I
where
don't
do
know.
they put those cars?
Well, that's what I'm saying, that's the question, is do they put them like at Walnut, where that parking is where Walnut is, and they pack them up, the same thing with California.
I mean, seeing that we have some time, should we like do an assessment of legitimately how many vehicles we can handle in the village at any given time for an event, and put a cap on events? I mean, because really we're talking about safety issues on the off the trunks, right? So it's really down Washington, and I know we had issues with, we used to put the signs up, but then they started getting taken, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, they made a difference. They were a positive. I think they were positive in keeping people aligned on one side or the other, because the reality is the people who are holding the events aren't communicating. Doesn't seem like they're communicating to the people at the events where they should be parking. And it's not only it's a combination of safety, but also inconvenience to other residents when cars are parking on people's front yards, pulling in front of their driveways and seeing open spaces, and trying to pull into anywhere they can find. So, I mean, seeing we have some time, we can legitimately look at like how much space we have in the village for an event. It's either going to be out Walnut or California, right? We're not talking putting 50 cars in somebody's on China Lane, right? For instance.
Well, I think this isn't street parking for somebody's party. This is really utilizing village property for.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what we're trying to talk about it now, right? Because last month we said, we're not going to stop anyone that's already put their permits in this year. But I think that's what we want to start talking about, is so that we have a plan in the relative future. So if somebody puts in a permit in January for April, it's already done.
Well, I think
right?
some of the things we have to figure out is what's the time frame of how soon in advance are we requesting this? Because people come in and say, I want to have a party in 2 weeks.
Well, that's the first thing. Right now,
And
there's
that's
a it's 4-week limit, right? So 4 weeks.
Do we make that more?
I'd like to know if you can tell if there's any other.
Yeah, what do they do in other villages with
The first thing is, I don't, you're sort of applying revert. I mean, I do these kinds of things I do very frequently in other places. So you're sort of applying reverse logic, like just because somebody wants to park, like they send in a permit that we're going to have 50 cars. I mean, it doesn't then become our job to figure out where 50 cars are going to go. I mean, really, maybe the village is not appropriate for 50 cars, or they should. There are other alternatives that they could do. I mean, they could park the cars in Port Jefferson and have a bus coming back and forth on 25A or whatever they choose to do. But the one thing that you just said is I think that these should come up. The time to do this is now. Now, you don't have, if you're thinking about just because something comes in for this year, you don't have to approve it. I mean, when people send something in, I mean, that doesn't mean that, okay, now I'm going to do it. I mean, if there's something unreasonable about it, you don't have to accept it, even if you don't have these rules yet. But the time for next year really is now. I mean, like by August, I would say, and or September at the latest. So a couple of things that I heard, and believe it or not, I have a lot of experience with tent spikes, and most places you cannot use tent spikes. The people that put up tents have weighted cans because they know that they're not allowed to use tent spikes. So you should just make that the rule, because I've seen parking lots destroyed, sprinkler lines, all kinds of things that end up in problems. So I would have that rule. The second thing is that you should just decide on what the limit is in parking in the park, in both parks really, and that's the limit. And whatever it is, you're obligated to reserve parking for your residents. You can't, if there's 20 parking spaces there, doesn't mean you can sign off on 40 parking spots. It should be 15 or something, so you have parking for your residents. There
Frank,
should,
what would that be? Sorry to interrupt.
We kind of already have a.
It's like 4, right?
Depending on the park, but California, it would be about 4 species.
Okay.
Right?
For the
That's
guests,
the parking
for
lot.
for the residents.
Yeah, we
So
only
we
do
would
4.
only get this, the event, would only get 4 species in the park itself.
And what does Walnut get? Do they have a limit or no? Do we have one set?
Kind of difficult because there are no given species there since it's all gravel,
Right.
but I think we could probably exceed the 4. We could stick.
Okay. All right. Sorry, Joe. Go ahead.
no, that's okay. The next thing is the vendors. I mean, if there's going to be a vendor at the place, Frank said you need their health permit, and you also need their insurance, and the insurance is something like 300,000, 500,000. I want to say 300,000 million, but 300,000, 500,000. Something like a commercial insurance, and with the health department permit, because you're strict. Well, I don't want to say how liable you are because we're in public session, but it could become a major problem. So you want to get they need to identify the vendors, and you have to have the insurance certificates.
Do they have this health permit? Do the vendors carry it?
Yes.
Okay.
So one of the not-for-profits that I represent has events with 4,000 or 5,000 people on a farm, and they'll have 100 to 150 vendors, and every one of them will produce a health department certificate and also a insurance certificate.
Okay.
At least 7 to 10 days before the event. The next thing is you need to know whether or not alcohol is going to be distributed and by any of the vendors. And if they do, then they have to have an off-premises SLA permit. Again, otherwise you're liable.
Is that like the liquor license? Is that
It's
what
really,
that is?
It's really easy for them to get an off-premises SLA license, liquor license.
Okay.
This discussion about the business, unless the business is the owner of the property, the use of the parks is really intended for the families and the residents. So I think a business, if they want to do it in a business name, I really think that that's a commercial use, even if they're not selling something there. And I don't think you should do that. I think that the use of the park or the beach should be in a personal name only, the resident's name.
Well,
Okay, but wait.
yeah. Go.
Okay.
You.
So if a resident owns the business, though, and they're applying as themselves.
And then
That's okay, but then it's really.
and then they invite their business partners and they put up signs. And is that okay?
No, I don't think they should. I'm sorry. It's okay for them to.
He's like, okay.
Yeah, we're all like,
So we got the sign. So yeah, I mean, like if you invite your partners to come down to your beach, okay, you sign it out in your name, but it can't be like a company function. I mean, you can't do any commercial activity.
You can't have a banner that says
I think it's a case by case basis.
Focus Friends.
I thought that
Focus
was-
Annual
I know
picnic,
that
yeah,
was the
marketing
case.
event, no.
Yeah, you can have.
I think we'll use that now.
So-
This whole thing, this is really important too. They need to put in the application. It has to be in the application what the designated areas that they're going to use, and you have to approve that. And who's ever on duty that day has to make sure that that's the area that they use, or and nothing, nothing else. So that they can't prohibit the residents from using they can't prohibit access to the park by reasonable access by the residents. So the other thing is that I think that I know you may not want to do this, but I would recommend that these are turned in 2 months in advance or 45 days in advance.
I'm actually. I think that well in advance is for the size of our village and our manpower. I think that you're right.
And that
Well, I think for scheduling also for like Frank and his,
Yeah.
If they're doing a
Yeah,
schedule, they
it's
can, they
sufficient.
need to make sure someone's on duty that day.
And also that they go on the board's agenda, like if you don't want to approve them, I mean, that's up to you. I mean, I think that you should approve them, but I think that they should at least be on your agenda,
I
you know.
agree. So that people know they're
Yeah.
gonna be in the village and if people are around.
Yeah,
That's
so
why
you
I
can
said
say, oh,
stop
like, oh,
by.
last year they destroyed the beach, you know, or,
But what about like, when you say no commercial use, what about like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, activities that again, somebody's applying for as personally. for
Their kid's a Boy
their
Scout.
kids are Boy Scouts and they're doing something for the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts or the church or something like that, but they're applying for it
well,
themselves.
it's not for profit. You know, it's probably would, you know, it's a case by case basis, really.
Yeah,
It's probably open.
would there be, I know that this happened when we were talking about, like, this was a discussion, I think, even before I was on the board, with the company vehicles in the driveway and that whole thing. Like,
Yes.
is there a way that we can put language in that kind of, you know, protects if a nonprofit or something that, you know,
And but where does this, like, I know that we did the mass assembly and that was for people utilizing the roads for like a parade or something, or a march. But that doesn't apply to this at all.
Not unless we can make it part of it. I mean, it could if you wanted to. It could
No,
be under this.
I don't, I just don't want, I don't want one to, if, I want to make sure that one doesn't have any, including the residents. Okay, all right, so that's, I mean, off the top of my head, just as a something, because it is the residents, I actually think that I would consider, and I don't know how everybody else feels, holiday weekends we don't allow because people want to use, you know, there was a bunch of residents had like a great time at Walnut on 4th of July weekend. I think that the residents should come first in that scenario. So somebody could have come down and said, I want to have a birthday party that weekend, and then no, the
But they're not
residents.
filling this out. They're gonna go down there with their 20 friends, which is what probably happens.
Residents, I'm not saying I want to, I'm all for the residents using it. I'm saying that if someone comes in and says, I want to have a special event at California on Labor Day weekend, on 4th of July weekend, on Memorial Day, there's not a lot of, maybe that should be excluded and we leave the parks strictly for resident use for the busier holidays. So that, I mean, it's the residents are the ones who are paying the taxes, and it's their community. I think it should be first and foremost. So I would hate to have a situation where we've okayed somebody to have a birthday party on Labor Day and then people can't get to go down there and enjoy at all, even if they're parking, even if we have the parking and everything, or they feel uncomfortable, or it's, you know.
Do we limit the amount of events now, like per day?
No,
No.
we don't have it. We don't
Have any
limit.
event. Okay.
We just make sure, right? We just make sure that if it hasn't happened for like a holiday weekend.
No, I just mean the amount of events per day.
Oh, yeah.
It just says,
Like there's never two people that want
they
the
always
same
ask,
space.
like,
if
is
it's-
that day open? And I'm like,
It's
"Yeah,
always
yeah, like,
it's
how much
always
longer?"
one event per day. You can't
Yeah.
really.
It's not.
I mean, they have to clean up their garbage afterwards, but there's also the use of the porta potties. Do we charge a fee?
Well, I think the fee's not enough.
Well, but I'm just saying, do you add a cleaning fee for the porta potties?
well, if it's
Because,
getting used more, yeah.
well, if you're down
If
there
yeah,
and
I
you're
would
having
think-
40 people, they're using the porta potty, and then on Monday the residents are going there because they're going out on their boat, and the porta potties are not clean.
So so what I would do is I would have, if the application is indexed more than 20 people, then I would have a $300 fee for the service.
Yeah, can we? I mean, is there a way to split this based on? Like, I don't want to discourage people. We're talking 2 months out. I mean, if somebody, you know, has 10 people and they want to have like a little get together at the park, I mean, really, they're supposed to be filing a special event permit, which we want them booking it out 2 months in advance. I mean, should we
Well,
look
I
at
guess
like it seems like we're trying to make a lot of rules for these bigger events, but we also don't want to like discourage people from.
Can we time it, or would that just be a special, that they would make a special request? Or do we
Well,
have
why don't you
timelines?
just put it in there, people that put it by sign. Right.
by
If it's
size?
less than
Because I
20,
think
less
then
than
that goes
20
with the deposit, with the amount that
It's
we're
30
charging,
days. It's,
so,
yeah, it's 30
yeah.
days or whatever, and then
And then I think that should,
greater than 50, it has,
Well, I
yeah,
think it's a tiered system. No
Yeah.
matter
it
what,
correlates with your
I also think
deposits
that the money's
and
tiered.
your, yes,
The
that's what
money's
I'm
Yeah,
saying,
tiered,
so it
yes.
correlates with both.
It
So
has to be
if you're gonna
levels to
have
this. It can't just be one broad thing. If you're doing 50
30,
people,
40 cars, we should take into account that you're going to need code on, you're gonna need the porta potties pumped, like
You
you're
have 100
gonna,
people, you might need 2 coaches.
yeah, we need to, we can factor that into it if you're gonna have, but if you're just gonna go with your, like, we don't wanna, I don't think so, at least, I don't wanna like discourage people from, having a birthday party for their kids at the park and, if you're gonna bring in vendors and have 100 people there, that's one thing, but if you're gonna have your family and a couple of friends come, like, we don't wanna
In
discourage
all
us.
honesty, when it's a family and a couple of friends, I think they just
They just
walk
go
down or
and do
whatever
it.
and they
Yeah.
just grab a picnic table and hang out. I think this is when people are having a little bit more of a formal event. They want to have, they want if I'm going down there to have a birthday party for my son and it's my sister-in-law and 6 of us, we're just going to grab a picnic table, sit down and have our little party, and that's one thing. But if I want exclusivity to that park for my event, I would probably think it would be a bigger event. I would probably, what do I care? I don't know.
We've never really had conversations with 10 people. But I think that perhaps, as Joe, I think said, depending on the amount of people, what's that? Anyone that is going to use the park for a special event is going to require insurance or a vendor or a certain amount of people or parking on the street should probably be put in well in advance enough for the board to review it and approve or decline it. That would, I think that would be best, rather than it just being automatically approved. Because the board never sees it.
Never see,
Right, so you don't know who's putting in for the use of one of the parks. So you might want to consider that.
All right, so it's got to be so then you're at least at 30 days, because if you come in, you may come in, someone may come in tomorrow, and then they have to wait a whole other month for the board to review it. And it's something we have to review openly, publicly. It's not something that can be done via email where the board looks at it and kind of consensus opinion to okay it. It has to be done.
I would think that it goes on at least the agenda.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a public process.
Okay.
You don't have to vote but you don't have to vote on everyone, publicly. You shouldn't vote privately, but you don't have to make a formal approval, but it should at least, you should.
What would the status should go on the agenda every month?
Minimum is, I think, I would list them on the agenda.
Okay.
Like a lot of places, if you don't have any commercial properties here, but as an example, a lot of municipalities that have liquor establishments in them, every now and then you get a notice that Mario's is applying for an extension of their liquor license. So you put it on the agenda, but you don't approve it. There's none of your business really. You can't approve it, except that you can put it on the agenda to see if there's any public comment.
Okay.
So that's kind of what you would be doing here.
Okay.
As a suggestion.
What are the thoughts of I want to have my company picnic at because that's the other one. I want to have my company picnic. I'm the resident, it's my company, and I've decided to have my company picnic at California Park. Is that okay as long as it meets all the parameters? Because I think it has to be kind of thought through. I don't want to be in a situation where we're like, well, your company, it has to be, we have to have
No, I
a
agree.
decision made. It has to be kind of consistent across the board. Do you allow advertising? Do you allow do you specify, is this for, can we even ask that? What's it for? Who are the guests? Are the guests family or are the guests work associates? And deny it based on work associates? Doesn't that seem biased? Or no?
No, you just say you have to restrict that can't be used for commercial purposes, and then I don't know. I don't think you can request the identity of every person.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No, but you can restrict the activity. Sure.
Okay.
You can restrict the activity also to profit making.
No profit making.
Oh, but if I'm having a company picnic,
No, I'm saying like if I throw a party at California Parking, charge everyone $10 to get in. Can't do that.
No.
But I do that every Saturday.
you do that every Saturday now, as it
No,
is?
I'm saying
You're down
you
there
could do
having.
that every Saturday.
Oh, you would do that every Saturday.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
That's like a big step up. Like I was thinking maybe a little lemonade stand, but you're.
You're in the wrong business.
I obviously am. I got to get in business with you.
I think the permit should still be in the person's name though.
Yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
But the thing is there like some kind of liability because the person puts it in their name and they say, I'm having a party and it's just for my friends and family. And then 8 of their employees come, somebody gets hurt and they say, I was here for XYZ company and I'm going to sue XYZ company and the Village of Poquot.
Wouldn't
Does
that
that
be a
make us
certificate
more?
of insurance with the village?
Yeah, you go. Certificate of insurance.
But that we have that.
Because by what they tell us, it's gonna be for,
So we're
we would be okay.
okay, got it. All right. So what's next steps with this? What do we do? Do we hand this over to you, Joe, to look at and give us suggestions? Does everybody want to come up with their own? I think
me and Frank should be involved.
I think you and Frank should bat this around for the next month and come up with, I mean, you know what this looks like. And then the other question is there an enforceability situation? Because right now it's a policy and a permit, and there is, let's say now somebody comes down there and we make it very clear that it's 20 cars and this and that. And now somebody comes down and it's 100 cars and they've got, Nike banners everywhere. Do they get violations because they didn't follow our policy, or do we just say, oops? I mean, because that
If we have code enforcement, you could stop it. You could, or not let it happen. And you could also issue violations, yes.
based on this, or does it have to be codified into a law?
There should be a law.
Because
The
mass,
violation should be a
mass
law.
assembly is the law, right?
Yeah.
So do they have special event laws?
Yes.
Is that something we want to think about doing, just so that people are more likely to comply? Because
I mean, are we able to schedule code on for every event that's permissible for? I mean, if we're going to require people to notify 30 to 45 days ahead of time. I guess Frank's person, is that realistically? Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
But that's one of the reasons why. So that people so that not here, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. And it seems like the issues that we've had happen to fall on days, times.
Well, I mean, the Boy Scout thing was like on a Thursday, but
Yeah.
they did take up the whole North Park. They cleaned up, but it was definitely an inconvenience. But I'm the one I'm the one who started that when my son was a Boy Scout. It started out in COVID just to let them do it, but now they've kind of adopted the dock as a bridge. I mean, I don't know. Do you let non-for-profits do it for a fee? I mean, I hate to turn away the Boy Scouts, but it did turn into kind of in all fairness to the residents, it did turn into kind of a mess. There was way too many people. They were parked all over the place, and it was a random afternoon, evening where you're never going to expect code enforcement to necessarily be on that specific time of day. And
yeah, I mean,
it was early. I remember driving past that. So the question is, though, can they be scheduled that way? Like, can they not work a different day and work that day? I don't know. I don't know how you guys schedule. So
I think that's very difficult. I think to have code enforcement change their schedules based on.
Oh, they have set schedules?
Yeah, they do. Okay. So I think it would be really hard to say all summer your set schedule. They're all part-time. So most of them have other jobs. Yeah. So to say, well, I know that's the day that you were.
I didn't know they had sets.
I think we just have to put the onus back on the person pulling the permit. We have to make a determination of how many vehicles the village can handle, where they need to be parked. If we say you're at California and you can have 30 cars and they have to be on Washington on this side, then we have to put the onus on the owners to make sure. And then you're writing tickets or you're denying their permit next time they want to pull something. I mean, the reality is we got to do some self-policing, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is you could deny them permits in the future.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you have one bad experience, then so sorry.
That's a good idea
And
too.
if it's put into the code, doesn't necessarily mean the sections of the code should go right out the right way. Doesn't necessarily mean it have to be organized or resident at that moment. If this, I can always go right. Whatever violation is that Joe put into the code related to that.
I mean, I think it warrants being put into the code. I don't think it should just be a policy. I think it would make sense for us to have it be something official. I don't know how everybody else feels before we go down that. Do we keep it a policy or do we codify it?
Is it even a policy? It's just an application.
This is an application / policy. It's kind of considered both.
I mean, I think it's codified in the surrounding villages. I think Belterre's codified. I think
I think
codified.
I mean my vote is that it should be
codified. So I don't think it's anything out of the norm. So
what do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Darlene?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right, so why don't we hand it back to you two and maybe take this as the dummy template. You got our feedback and let's keep moving on it. We'll just keep chipping away at it. Okay, all right, enough of that. 2025-2026 village insurance has come in lower than expected. They gave us a
did
pretty.
you uninsure half of the village, or how did you guys
No.
pull that off?
Well, that one deductible
I
went
just
up, so that probably
Right.
was, right?
Deductible went
What
up
was
to
the
that
total
level.
amount?
Yeah, which is great, which was
For-
we asked for.
The
Yeah.
total,
Yeah, we were
the one that were, it was like 32
Almost
something.
60,
So
right?
it's in there,
Yeah.
so we were paying $40,000, and we actually got it down to 30, which is much lower than
Originally
quoted us
expected,
originally.
yeah.
Much
We were
lower than
talking
they expected, that we
60, right?
expected, yeah.
Like 60.
And
But we
much,
gave a lot of suggestions, so hopefully they
Yeah,
took
and
some.
same coverage as we had previously.
and I guess in part, I mean, we didn't cut back that much because there wasn't much. I think the rates just didn't go up as much
No,
as
we
they
ended up
expected.
not changing
We changed
anything.
very
When I
little,
looked into
right?
the flood insurance and the
The deductible for flood insurance.
the deductible for that and loss of income, I believe it was that we asked
Yes,
about, and that we didn't change that, so there was no change to our policy from last year.
So we're gonna wind up,
Great.
this is something for Judy to put on her radar. We're gonna wind up, we budgeted more for this than in our budget. So at some point, we're gonna have to do a transfer. So my suggestion, since we already budgeted for it, is unless we need it, I would put the money towards the New York class savings account. Because our budget's already in the works. We're gonna have to transfer it out because we're gonna be over budget, well, or under, I don't know, under on this. So we could either put it towards the reserve, and replenish the reserve, which we pulled from for the budget, or move it to the New York class, which is, it has earnings, it has a better interest rate. So my suggestion would be when we get to the point where we're going to transfer it, I would just put it in there. We've already kind of adjusted right? I mean, that's doable. So I think let's put it there, and then when we need it, at least it's gotten some interest.
Will it gain more interest than what it would be worth paying against the bond? Like, would we save more money on the interest payment on lowering the bond amount versus what it would accumulate?
That's something the treasurer, when she gets brought up to speed way enough.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think
Because if it's
we're not gonna.
Right, there's no reason to collect 2% interest if you're paying 4% on the bond.
Sure, absolutely. So
Let's
let's.
do the other way around. The class pays
Yeah.
really good
that's what I'm
interest,
trying
and
to
bond
look
is very low.
Okay,
at. I
so
think near places like
But that's the question,
Yeah.
that's the question.
Yeah, so
Darren was
let's,
asking, we didn't know that.
let's look at that and make a decision based on
I know our
that.
bond rate was fairly low. I think I don't know what ours is. I think they're around 3 right now, but I don't
Well, we
know what
haven't
ours
even drawn
specifically
down
is.
on the bond yet.
No,
so-
no, I'm just saying if yes, I agree with putting the money into class if the interest that we're going to accrue on it is greater than what we'd be losing.
We'll find
on
someplace to
on
spend
a
it.
bond. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the real decision is not, I mean, it may end up in class, that's great, but the real decision is to allocate it to reserve or a specific reserve, and then it goes to class. So not, otherwise you're.
Oh, it just goes to reserve, and then reserve is the class,
Yeah.
part of the reserve is in that account.
Yeah,
All right,
that's the
so,
proper decision.
okay. Thanks,
The
Joe.
subsection.
Do I have to do a resolution for that? Have No,
No,
no, I'm only kidding.
you have to do it later on.
You can do it
Okay.
At the end and group it all together.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it all, I'm gonna do one big resolution after this.
You have to read everything.
So emergency repair on Singingwood, I think I got everybody up to speed. We have a bit of a sinkhole. I think it's gonna be addressed. It happened right before the 4th of July. They didn't get there, but we're gonna just have to fix it. And then we're going to, on a second note, call out for a markup. The dangerous portion where the road and someone's lawn has kind of given way. We need to fix that immediately, which we're going to do ASAP this week. It was the day before 4th of July, so nobody got here. But we're doing that in the next 2 days. That's the schedule. And then after that, though, I think we're going to have to revisit what caused it to happen, because it's been a long time that those drains have been put there. The drains were checked. They are intact. It's fine. It may be just the amount of water, because we still get a lot of flooding in that area. It may be the amount of saturation from what's going on. We may have to look to see if we're going to do an additional drain somewhere. So I'm going to call for a mark out so that we can evaluate it a little bit with a little bit more thought once. All right, well, we got the insurance money. There it goes, gone. So that's the status on that. It's underway. All right. Commissioner requests. So, did we get any emails? Okay, I got one from okay, I got an email from Rich Parrish asking for membership to the New York Floods organization. I sent everybody a link to look at it. It's $100 annual membership, and multiple people he's suggesting, him, Mike, maybe myself, maybe some trustees, whoever wants to get a little bit more information, but I'm okay with the $100 if everyone else is okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Online bill pay. You want to speak to that?
Sure. So in certain instances, I work with Natalie on Thursdays to do bills. And for example, this past week we received the Verizon bill in the mail. Last week, I think it was Tuesday, and then they said the due date's July 4th. So in order for us to mail a check to them, then we get hit with late fees, and then they have to call them and say, So we were just looking to be able to pay some bills online. They would still be read every single month, but just in an instance to avoid a late fee. Like Home Depot, it's happening.
Why are we not paying them all online?
It's not old school. I don't know.
They should have online bill pay for Don Bank.
Yeah, we could use it for.
My other
essentially
suggestion
everything.
would be to be able to pay your taxes online.
Yeah,
That's
Because I would really love to do that.
I would love it if people could do it.
Yeah.
And then you get a receipt right away, and you don't have to mail receipts. We cut down on all those receipts.
You need a system. You
It's
can't
not
just.
that hard.
Like software and
It's
stuff.
just
I can tell you,
cost.
I'll give you the software people. I have
I
a
would love
couple
that.
of them.
So there's a resolution that we could add, we'll add it and it'll be on for next year. But it's a resolution to authorize payment of claims in advance of audit.
I think we have.
I thought we did, it's, resolution to pay regular claims in advance of audit. And what that means is recurring claims that are for rent or utilities, things like that, you can pay them in advance of whenever they are.
We
issued.
have that. I think we did that. I think we put that in our in one of our policies. I think we added that, the one that we revised this year, where we don't have to approve it if it's a recurring. Is that what you're talking about?
You approve it at the next month. You don't have to
You
approve
had
it.
it on like the work
So
session.
that should help, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but we just were looking to be able to pay online.
No, but
Never
it's just
did
a
before,
question
so
if they don't pay online. We
no,
don't.
just pay everything by.
But I'm okay with it. If everyone's
Can I
all right with it, yeah. Yeah, go
I'm not
ahead.
sure if I'm allowed to talk.
You're allowed
It's
to.
actually safer to pay online. That people wash checks all the time.
Yeah, we had it happen.
Yeah, sending your checks and
Nobody in the world does it anymore, but the village. Okay.
there's a few people, but mostly no.
Some residents full of it. And my mom, right? And my mom, right?
Okay,
Actually,
so
my
whenever
mother
it's
pays everything
available,
online.
we'll just pay it
Yeah,
online.
as long as it's not, as long as it's a standard bill,
Yeah,
and
like
because
Home Depot.
that's
or
all. That's all.
Verizon,
Like,
cable,
yeah,
lights.
yeah.
Okay, perfect.
It just
That's
has to be
fine.
within the thresholds that we specified, which those bills will
Yeah,
be.
they'll
So
all be.
yeah,
And like you can see, like we did have to do it with Verizon.
But I would do it through Dime Bank. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
do it like through each of the.
No,
I would like set up the auto on bill pay and
Yeah.
Dime Bank. Yeah.
all right. Let's do that. All right. Okay. Another item: village-wide repairs. Potholes. We have signed the contract, and we have added Adams to it. It's going to be the potholes and Adams are going to be done at the same time, and Washington and China are going to happen later, because we can't do Washington now, but they wanted to. They felt like they could tackle it, and I think it's a great idea. So we can, see how they do with one of the smaller roads, and hopefully all goes well, and then get them, move on to the next
Does
one.
China have that potholes?
China is just worn down to it doesn't have anything because it's like a half an inch away from dirt.
Okay,
So it's in like that.
I know
China's
it's
like that.
No, it's like almost like a dirt road.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Did they give you dates yet? Or are we still waiting?
I think we had
I
said
think
they
they're end of the month.
yeah,
by the end of July, I think you said.
For the potholes?
potholes and Adams.
I know.
We just signed the contract last week, so
Okay. And they're gonna notice. Do they give you like?
yeah, they're
they're
gonna
gonna
let
give
us know in
Okay.
advance. Drain cleaning is scheduled for
July 14th.
July
Should
14th.
take 6 to 8 days.
July 14th.
I'm gonna send out
Yeah, we'll put up notices. We're gonna put notices up on the website. And Suffolk County repairs on Walnut, Jess has reached out to them a number of times to try to nail them down to a date, and they are still kind of not
I
giving us.
reached out to him again tonight because he was still not on the calendar.
They're so.
I do want to put it out there though that our road opening time is only valid for 90 days.
Well,
so,
we should.
when 90 days passes.
Well, we should
Right.
also. We also need to take care of Washington before the asphalt plant
another
closes.
2 months. A little under 2 months. June 3rd.
How does that work? Because they have a road opening permit, but if they drag because I can't take care of Washington and have Walnut and Washington both closed off at the same time, right? So and we have to do Washington before the fall, before the cold weather and the asphalt is no longer feasible. So at some point, can I give them notice that I'm pulling the permit back because we have other road repairs? Suffolk County Water Authority.
I would tell them in advance that this is happening. I wouldn't wait and then pull it. I would tell them in advance.
But they have a road permit for 90
They
days.
do. It was issued June 3rd, and they have it for 90
July,
days.
August,
Originally,
September.
they said the work would be done end of June, but they haven't.
You send them a notice at the 30-day
So I would
mark.
tell them that it's not going to be renewed.
Yeah.
Just let them know they have 30 days for the permit.
You know what?
Closes.
Let's call.
Or at the 30-day mark.
Yeah, I'll call again tomorrow.
No, I wouldn't even call
Do it
them.
today.
I would call the paving people and ask them how late into the season they can go. Because
Okay.
if
It has
so,
to be done before
Yeah.
the season.
right,
Yeah.
the potholes are going to be, but I'm
It all
talking
has
about
to be done before
the road
We
paving.
can't put it off.
No, we can't. We can't for FEMA. We have to do it in the fall, in the fall at the latest. So we need to find out from them what their
Latest day is
at
probably
latest
October.
day, and then that's hope if
November
it's
1st.
September 5th, then
Yeah.
we just don't renew Suffolk
If it's
County.
September 5th, that would be about the same time.
Right. All right. And then that's it. We talked about all of this. Hey, guess what? Motion to close the meeting at 7:13. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then we're gonna do one big fat resolution and call it a day. Do we have to do the pledge again, Joe? We did it
No.
already. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you can teach us
Uh,
It's God bless America.
That was really nice.
Yeah, it was.
Joe, do I have to put, do I have to do a resolution accepting this report that we read about Justice Court, or do we just read that into the minutes?
I would adopt that. What's the word? It's not adopt, but I would accept that. I would have the Board of Trustees vote to accept that report and make it part of the permanent record of this meeting.
Oh, I have a resolution to designate the 1278 in Justice Court debt as an uncollected loss, but that's not good enough, is it?
I would just yeah, that's a good part, but I would make
That's a good part.
That's a good
Give me the
part.
other. Give me the other part,
That's a
please.
good start. But I would have the other part be that or the part, actually part A would be to accept the report given by the mayor and make it part of the permanent record of the village.
Okay.
Official record. You know what I would say? Permanent official record of the village.
Accepting the mayor's report regarding Justice Court.
Efficiency and fund balance or fund.
It would be,
fund expense.
let's call it outstanding debt. And unexpended grant funds, right?
And making the report part of the official, permanent official record of the village.
Right.
So it can't be removed. It's now an official record of the village.
Okay, I'll read that one, and then we'll see how I do. You can score me, okay? I just wrote something up. Don't look like that. I'm gonna do a great job. You're gonna love it. All right. So no pledge allegiance because we did that. So we're gonna go right into the Board of Trustees meeting. The motion to call the, hey, you guys, I'm motioning. Stop. Motion to, yeah, motion to call the business meeting to order at 7:16 p.m. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Announcements. Pocock Community Association's annual cardboard regatta and barbecue will be on August 2nd. All residents and families are encouraged to attend. There will be a boat building,
Build a boat
workshop on
July 13th.
July 13th at 10 a.m. At 10 a.m. at California.
Yeah.
Residents are encouraged to attend that too. Village-wide drain cleaning, pothole repairs will be performed between July 14th and July 30th. Scheduled work will be posted on the website. As of July 7th, Village Hall hours will be Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Public hearing, proposed local law of 2020, motion to open the public hearing, to continue the public hearing on proposed local law of 2025, creating section 183-18A of the Poquat Village Code, Planning Board established membership and terms of office removal. So moved. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, public hearing. Does anybody have comments? Gary?
Chris had mentioned, with regards to the shielding behind a resident having a big party,
Gary,
special
we're
event.
in the public hearing. There's not public comments.
Well, there
That's-
was no public
that's next.
comments in the work meeting.
That's coming. It's coming next. Look on the agenda, my friend. All right, well, this is the public hearing about the planning board law. Do you have any comments on that? Okay, we have one caller. Caller, do you have any comments? Okay, everyone's good with the changes, the modifications we made? Perfect, okay. Motion to close the public hearing, proposed local law of 2025, creating section 183-18A. So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right, now, public comments.
Carol Funk, going back to what I was saying before, Chris had mentioned with regards to the special events. Should a resident or someone want to shield themselves behind have a party to shield themselves behind a corporation? Subchapter S of C, certificate of insurance is the way to go. I think there's this labeling under their corporation, and there should be no problem really enforcing it. And just label the village of Colquot as the insured, and they can do it for $1 million or $2 million. So if any accidents happens, the village will pay for that.
I mean, we have that right now for the residents.
Right.
I don't know that I want to open it up for corporations at this point.
They're paying you by check or Visa or card or something like that.
I don't know. How does that work, Joe?
It's really not, there's two questions. One is the liability, and then the other question is the use. So I think that, the nature of the use. So I think that the nature of the use should be limited to the individual residents.
To residents and their family, friends, in
Because if every time somebody does it in the business, we're going to have to, investigate whether it was really commercial or,
right. Okay.
It's better just to do the.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Gary?
No.
Okay. All right. Board updates.
Caller.
What? Caller? Well, caller, do you have any comments? Okay. Board updates, planning board. The planning board met on June 9th to discuss the subdivision application for the property at 18 Chestnut Avenue and a pending DOP application for 9 Chestnut Avenue. The next meeting will include a public hearing for pending DOC application on July 14th at 7 p.m. Zoning board. The zoning board did not meet in June. The next meeting is scheduled for July 16th. All right, let's do the resolutions. Resolution 07-2025-01. Resolution adopting the July 7th, 2025 agenda as printed. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 07-2025-02, resolution accepting the monthly reports from June 12th, 2025. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 07-2025-03, resolution adopting minutes from the June 12, 2025 work session of the Board of Trustees. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 07-2025-04, resolutions adopting minutes from the June 12, 2025 session of the Board of Trustees.
All in favor?
Resolution number 07-2025-05, resolution adopting the minutes from the June 24th, 2025 work session of the Board of Trustees special meeting. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 07-2025-07, resolution to schedule the Village of Hopewell Board of Trustees work session meeting beginning at 6 p.m. Did I skip it?
Yeah, 6.
Oh, I'm so dumb. Resolution 07-2025-06, resolution adopting the minutes from the June 24th, 2025 business session of the Board of Trustees special meeting. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 07-2025-07, resolution to schedule the Village of Hopewell Board of
Trustees.
Trustees work sessions meeting beginning at 6 p.m. on August 14th, 2025, with business meetings to follow immediately. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 07-2025-08, resolution approving the bill from Dave Lang Sewer Services for emergency septic pump out of Village Hall in the amount of $1,575. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 07-2025-09, resolution approving the bill from Mr. Frost for emergency HVAC repair of Village Hall in the amount of $6,450. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution number 07-2024-10, resolution to approve salary increase for code enforcement officers from $21 to $21.50 an hour effective June 1st, 2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 07-2024-11, resolution to approve salary increase for Chief Code Enforcement Officer Frank Schaefer from $29 to $30 an hour effective June 1st, 2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution 07-2024-12, resolution to approve salary increase for Village Clerk Jessica Tanney from $27 an hour to $29 an hour effective June 1st, 2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 07-2024-13, resolution to approve salary increase for village deputy clerk April Pataro from $23 to an hour to $24 an hour effective June 1st, 2025. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution.
Who's next? You?
That's right.
You got the big one.
I see that. Resolution number 07-2025-14, resolution adopting the agency status for purposes of SECRA's State Environmental Quality Review Act with regard to Village Local Law 2025, creating section 183-18A of the Hopewell Village Code, planning board established, membership and terms of office, removal and determining the adoption of the local law is an unlisted action for purposes of SECRA, that the adoption of the local law will not have a negative impact on the environment, and adopting a negative declaration. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution number 07-2025-15, resolution adopting local law of 2025, creating section 183-18A of the Hopewell Village Code, planning board established, membership and terms of office removal. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, ready? Resolution, ready, Joe? Pay attention. Resolution 07-2025-16, resolution accepting the mayor's report regarding justice, outstanding debt, and unexpected grant funds, and making an official record of that report, and designating the 1278 and Justice Court debt as an uncollectible loss. So, yeah.
That's good.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Resolution 07-2025-17, resolution to authorize the village clerk and bookkeeper to utilize online bill payments where available by vendor in accordance with bill pay policy. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 07-2025-18, resolution approving insurance renewal with the
Salerno.
Brokerage Corporation in the amount of $36,652.41, effective July 1st, 2025 to July 1st, 2026, and authorizing the mayor to execute the contract. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Go, Jazz. Go, Jazz.
Alright,
Okay.
Oh, wait, go. Are you fixing my resolution? You want to fix
No,
it?
16, we substitute 16, but then you still need to have a resolution designating 1278.
I did a big giant resolution.
Thanks, I'm sorry.
okay.
Got you, Dr. Mickey.
I
All the
got
other
him
ones
back.
individually. Yeah.
So first up, we have the First National Visa credit card. We have AED Superstore for $517.50. Amazon Marketplace for $106.44. Microsoft 365 for $141.37. Pirate for $27.20. USPS for $219. Web iPower for $495.56 for a total of $1,507.07. Next, we have Printers 3 for $255. Wax Bank for $68.29 for a total of $323.29. Next, we have Axe Creatives for $125. Bond Sherman and King for $1,320. Paula Head Corp for $90. Planet Financial Services for $179. Dave Lang Sewer Services for $1,575. Reactive Pest Control for $180. Suffolk County Water Authority for $160.28. Suffolk County Water Authority for $149.57. Suffolk County Water Authority for $54.92. Whether or not AC and heating, Mr. Cross for $6,450. And Wellsback Electric for Long Island for $1,001.40 for a total of $11,285. Next, we have Annette Ainsley for $90.75. Deirdre Cronin for $90.75. Paul Edelson for $250. Kendall Parrish for $90.75. Hopewell Community Association for $5,000, and Jacqueline Taylor for $90.75, and Winter Brothers Hauling of $12,276 for a total of $17,889. Next, we have Axe for $60, Construction Technologies for $195.15, Nikon for $727, Optimum for a total of $135.04. Joseph Prokop for $2,143.75. PSEG Long Island for $403.41. PSEG for $14.13. Small Business Management Solutions for $604.29. Suffolk County Village Officials Association for $1,250. Time Speaking Records for $120.52. Transforming Solutions Corp for $2,154.45. Verizon Wireless for $101.23, and Winter Brothers Hauling of Long Island for $12,276 for a total of $20,184.97.
All right. Resolution 06-2025-19, resolution approving all checks per the voucher report. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:30 p.m. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting over.
All right. So Judy, you survived.
Not yet.
Yeah. Yeah, Judy.